If you're smart and sensitive, and life feels harder than it should, if you're lying in bed wondering what you did wrong, why everything takes so much out of you, why even jobs and relationships that are supposed to work just don't, I want to say this: there is nothing wrong with you. You were just born into a world that wasn't built for how you're wired. Years ago, I had a job at a telecom corporation in Washington, D.C. Good pay, corporate office next door to the FBI and down the street from the Capitol. The kind of thing that people say is stable, responsible. But I just struggled to get there in the morning. I was often late. I'd lie in bed trying to will myself to get up, then sit at my desk, staring at the screen, forcing myself to do tasks that felt completely meaningless. A press pack, a website update. Everything in me was saying, this isn't right. This isn't my life. I don't belong here. And then one morning, it was September 11th. The towers had just fallen. We could see the Pentagon burning, and we thought the Capitol would be next. Our building could be hit, and we could all be gone. And as terrifying as that should have been, a part of me felt relieved. Because at least it would be over. At least I wouldn't have to keep pretending this made sense. That's how bad it was. That's what it felt like to live a life that was so far from the truth of who I am. I didn't know the terms gifted or highly sensitive back then. I just thought I was failing at being a normal adult. If any part of that feels familiar, if you've ever reached a point where you just wanted it all to stop, not because you didn't care, but because you cared too much, let me know in a comment below. Even just a me too. It helps more than you might think. But looking back on all this, I see now I wasn't failing. I was responding accurately to a world that kept demanding I become someone I wasn't. It took me years and hundreds of books and courses and meditations and talks and journal prompts to make sense of this. Some of the biggies were the gifted adult, rainforest mind, and probably most of all the myth of normal. I'll link them below. Gabor Mate's The Myth of Normal was the first time I heard someone say clearly, you're not exhausted and overwhelmed and unwell because you're doing life wrong. You're like that because the world we live in is wrong. And not just wrong for you, wrong for everyone and everything. It's a system that punishes sensitivity, ignores meaning, extracts more than it gives, and calls that success. God, what a relief when someone else finally said it. And so I stopped asking, why can't I get it right? And started asking, why does this system do it wrong? And how can I change it? That question is still with me every single day. It's what led me here, to this channel, to this work. Because if the system isn't going to do it right, we have to, together. But what helped me wasn't a 5-step plan. It was a series of hard, stubborn, sometimes lonely decisions to stop pretending and start paying attention to what I actually need. First, I still blame myself. If something's wrong, my first instinct is to fix it. And if I can't fix it, I assume I'm the problem. It's what's known as being a high agency person, in case you resonate with this and want to know more. But the point is, now I try to pause and ask, what if it's not me doing it wrong? What if it's the world demanding something that it shouldn't, that harms more than helps? Second decision I've made, I've had to walk away from the nonprofit that chewed through its people, from the corporate job and then the government job that deadened me, from the business I started but didn't really believe in. Over and over, I've had to say, nope, not this one. Until eventually I was here, making this, because it's the only thing left that feels true. I'm 49 and I've only just found my career. But that's because it took me so long to figure all this stuff out, and I'm sharing it in the hopes it might save you some time and anguish. Okay, so the third decision I made, I've realized I need meaning and purpose like I need air. If the work doesn't matter, my body gives up. If it's about fitting in or climbing ladders, I'm gonna fail. I only get energized by doing something that serves, that helps, that feels like I'm actually contributing. In short, I need to build the world I believe we all need, even if I have only the smallest chance of doing it. Fourth decision, find allies. And if that means building it so they'll come, then so be it. Because I've barely found allies in real life. There's Malcolm, my husband, who is helping with this channel and doing all the stuff in the background, the cooking, cleaning, childcare, emotional support, even fun activities to help me do this. So there's him, and there's this technology I'm using now. And there are books and daydreams. But finding people who really get what this life is like, that's been one of the hardest parts. It's why I'm going to build an online community for Evs United, because allies in making the world better shouldn't be so hard to find. And finally, the fifth decision I made, I will keep going. I don't always know why I'm so stubborn. I think it's wiring, but maybe it's something bigger, like my soul. But no matter how tired or discouraged I've been, some part of me has refused to give up. Even when I was flattened, even when I was raging at my own body for letting me down again. Something in me still believes this is worth it and I can change this world. So this is the part where I'm supposed to say the amazing results I've achieved from following the steps I've just talked about. The truth is, I still wake up exhausted and daunted by what I'm trying to do most days. I still wish I had more energy, more self-confidence, more evidence that it's working. But I blame myself less, I fight myself less, and I trust myself more. And for the first time, I'm not trying to be someone else. I'm trying to be me, fully, in a world that's finally starting to change. I'm seeing signs of it. A few days ago, I was in Waterstones, and one of their top bestsellers was a book called Moral Ambition by Rutger Bregman. There we go. It's about the power and the responsibility of using your gifts to do something that actually makes the world better. Not for ego or applause, but because it matters. That book felt like a signal, like someone else out there gets it, and it gave me hope. Because if I'm longing for this, for meaning, for real allies, for a life that actually fits, then I know I can't be the only one. So if the story I've told sounds anything like your story, I want to invite you into something I'm creating. It's called Evolutionaries United, like the channel, and it's a place for people like us who are tired of blaming ourselves and ready to start building a life and a world that actually works for how we're wired. It's not live yet, but you can sign up for the waitlist below, and I'd love to let you know when we open the doors. But in the meantime, just know this: you are not doing life wrong. The system is. And together we can start building something much, much better. See you soon.